What's going on, guys? My name's Gigglybit and this is my skill locked Group Ironman. The rules are pretty simple. I'm not allowed to progress the account with skills that I have not unlocked. What does that mean exactly? It means I'm not allowed to get any experience or reward by any means, including quest rewards and experience lamps. These skills will be unlocked one by one every 250 total levels that my group gets, beginning at 500 total. Let's get it. We're starting off the account here by immediately allowing all combat skills and 2 other skills of choice to be unlocked. With that being said, the first thing that comes to my mind after arriving on Gielinor is to start with the waterfall quest so I can unlock my next skill as soon as possible. Since I made the decision to choose my first 2 skills as well, I'm going to start here with thieving so that I can have access to cakes. Because I've chosen to not let the skill lock affect combat skills, it'll be good to knock off a few standard Ironman early game quests, such as Waterfall, Fight Arena, Witch House. Many of us know the importance of this early on in an account. These will all help in getting the first few skills unlocked. Since I'm still undecided which second skill I want to have other than thieving, I'm going to wait and see how the first couple of random unlocks go before I make a decision, because I really don't want my account to be in a position where I can't do anything other than wait for my group to complete 250 total levels on their own. I'm still not totally sure why I made the decision to attack that stupid imp. Probably should have just stopped chasing him after he teleported away the first time, but instead I chased him all the way to Africa and back. Could have at least dropped a blue wizard hat or chef's hat for the fashionscape. Trying to think a little bit ahead here, but I don't really want to go crazy on anything because obviously who knows what skill I'm going to be unlocking next. But I do know is we got to get that 10k from the Stronghold of Security. Since I'm no pro at the game and my RNG is usually pretty shit, we're going to grab a decent inventory of teas for some extra safety in the Stronghold before we head over and get our free money. I honestly don't know what to expect of this account, guys. I have no idea how long it's actually going to take me to get progressed, because I do know a lot of the important quests are locked behind skills. I don't have any expectations of this account. It does seem like a challenge in its own way, and I'm excited to see what comes of it. I'm not saying I'm trying to max the account, since I don't even have a regular max account yet, but it's still something that I've been thinking about. If you guys have any ideas of what you're looking to see, by all means, let me know and I'll do what I can to work on it. But anyway, now that we got our 10k, we don't really need it for this, but we'll start getting the supplies for the waterfall quest. We'll go see our lovely Ned and get a rope. Make sure we'll get a few extra for the road. Definitely would rather not have to waste the time to come back. We can now make our way over to the port in Remington since we have our shit, and head to Artie so we can get a few cakes for the quest, because I definitely do not feel safe running through the dangers of this quest with nothing but a nice cup of tea. Now that we've arrived here, let's bank our inventory and we'll go head over to the cake stall and get some food. Oh hell yeah, we got our first random of the account, and it's a Molly random. Not too sure if I have a preference of what kind of gem I want from this, honestly. Probably emerald, so we can get some Ring of Duelings pretty early, but either way, I'm not going to complain. It's free loot. 2 uncut diamonds, we take those. We did end up filling the inventory so that we have a handful of cakes to work with in the bank later on. The reason why I went inside this house to grab the garlic is actually for Vampire Slayer, since I do plan on doing that pretty soon. But let's worry about that later, and we'll finish heading over to the beginning of this quest. If you're wondering why there's like a few seconds downtime here and there, or if I'm not maximizing my run energy, this was before I discovered there was a quest helper plugin on RuneLite, so I've got the wiki open on my other monitor and I'm reading that You might be wondering why I went up the ladder of this tower here, and it was actually to look for a table to place my runes on, because I definitely haven't dropped them before in front of the statue and had them disappear, because I'm bad. But luckily, I was able to maintain combat with these zombies and skeletons and avoid death. We can now head back on over to the waterfall cave and finish the quest. Basically what I'm thinking is, if I get in combat with this rat right here, then okay, well, we'll just back up and pretend that we didn't get a chance on that hit. At this point, I'm just contemplating if it's even a good idea anymore, because I'm not trying to die here, not today. Surely this time will be better. The rat's in a much better position this time. Or not. That's alright, I didn't really want to finish the quest anyway. Alright, hear me out. Third time's the charm. Honestly, this game's too easy. Wasn't even worried for 1 second. Now, just gotta read off the wiki real quick and remember what exactly goes where. We'll be out of here and on to the next quest. That'll be 30 strength and 30 attack. So we made it over to the magic shop in Varrock to get some runes for the fight arena quest. I kind of want to be stingy with the GP right now, since I don't really know how I'm going to be making money anytime soon with all the locked skills and whatnot. But getting enough runes to get by each level, at least to get us up until we can cast fire strikes for the next eternity, that's all I'm really looking for. I'm not too sure how optimal it is for me to buy the air staff here instead of the fire staff, since I plan on that being the only mage spell I use for a while, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Fight arena quest is started. We grabbed our Khazard armor from the chest there, talked to this little shithead in the jail cell, grab this guard dude a beer, and then get ready for the fights. It's pretty easy to safe spot all these guys, to be honest, and even though I may have gotten hit by the ogre, but he's dead now. So we'll take care of the scorpion next. And then last up is the hellhound. Easy enough, right? Think again. I am once again clapped by avoidable damage, but I did manage to get him to a safe spot. Without any actual calculations, I was pretty close with my guess on the amount of runes I would need to get to 13 magic for Fire Strike, but I was a little short. As I was looking to see how much XP I needed for the next level, and then to choose my attack style, in this case spell style, I managed to misclick the button and ran out of my safe spot, getting gurked by the dog and somehow surviving with 1 HP. Of course, the dog ends up dying a little slower than hoping, since I had to cast a bunch of airstrikes. We finish the quest and end up here with 36 attack, 19 thieving, giving us a nice little boost to unlock the first random skill. I didn't really have any plans at this point. It's like almost 4 AM and I didn't expect to get this far immediately. So I just kind of started killing imps so I could get the beads for the imp catcher quest. At the time, I wish I would have opened up the loot tracker so you could see that it took me like 70 kills to get all 4 colors. And also the fact that I ended up getting the same red bead over and over again. This will be Imp Catcher completed for 17 magic. And since we used our home teleport to get here, I actually went over to Al Kharid and got a myth skimmy. And we also started Restless Ghosts on our way here, which is why you see me going to the basement to get the skull from the altar. Restless Ghosts completed for 11 prayer, and we'll get ourselves ready for Vampire Slayer. That's Vampire Slayer completed, and 38 attack. After we finished with this quest, we went down to Aggie's and grabbed the cheese off the table, so we have it for Witch's house. Here we are at the Witch's house, where we need to kill the 4 different forms. I actually didn't know how to properly safe spot the first 2 forms prior to coming into these fights, so as I'm face tanking these while trying to figure it out, I have my buddy in Discord doing his best to explain to me that I have to walk on top of them and hope that I get the RNG that the mob backs into the corner here. I also didn't know about the other safe spot for the final 2 forms, so I pretty much got drained of all of my cakes tanking the bear. But don't worry, I did end up figuring it out. Witch's house completed for 25 HP. Next up is Merlin's Crystal Quest. I was a little worried coming into this encounter, as I thought this mob would beat the hell out of me. Which makes it even worse, because I accidentally messed up the dialogue and had to fight him again. I'm almost a little bit upset that I wasted my GP on the myth skimmy, just because the Excalibur reward from the end of this quest is arguably better than that of a myth skimmy. Merlin's Crystal completed. Next up, Holy Grail. Killing this Black Knight Titan legit felt like it took an hour. I definitely did not want to waste my supplies on even trying to bother to mage him, but it did definitely take a considerable amount of time just by trying to flinch him. Not to mention the fact that in the middle of my first attempt, after probably a solid 5 minutes of flinching, someone scooped in and took combat, so I had to restart. This will be Holy Grail completed, giving us 29 prayer and 32 defense. At this point, giving us enough total as a group, putting us over 500 to unlock the first skill. I don't think I have any preference what skill gets unlocked, but it better not be something that I can't level. Like, if I get smithing or something that I can't even do without mining, it's gonna be quite tragic. We got farming! Okay, that's not a bad start. At least we got it early on in the account, so we'll be able to stockpile a bunch of supplies for Herblore later down the road. If that becomes unlocked. I say if because after a little bit of thought, it might be interesting if there's one skill that remains permanently locked on the account. It wouldn't be too fun if we eventually had a max Ironman now, would it? That's all for this episode, guys. I'm sure some of you might have been expecting something a little different, but you gotta remember, at this point, I've only got combat skills and thieving available to me. If there are some things you guys feel I left out that you'd like to see some more of, please leave a comment below, and same thing if you feel like there are some things that could be left out. There's a lot more content to see with this account, and the more people that like and subscribe below, I will hurry to get more episodes completed. Thanks for watching. See you next time.